African violets are known for near-constant blooming, so when the flowers stop and never come back, most owners assume the plant is simply done. It usually isn't. A few very specific habits control whether this plant blooms constantly or not at all. Let's start with the mistake that causes the most damage. Getting water directly on African violet leaves causes permanent brown or yellow spots, especially in bright light, since the water acts like a tiny magnifying lens. Water at the soil level instead, or better yet, set the pot in a shallow dish of water for 20 minutes and let it soak up from below. This single change prevents most leaf spotting. African violets want soil that stays lightly moist at all times, unlike many houseplants that prefer drying out between waterings. Letting the soil go bone dry stresses the plant and stops flowering, while soggy soil causes root rot. A self-watering pot or a consistent watering rhythm keeps this balance easier to maintain. African violets need bright, indirect light to bloom reliably, but direct sun scorches their fuzzy leaves with pale or brown patches. An east-facing window, or a spot a few feet back from a brighter window, usually provides the right balance. Too little light is actually the more common problem, showing up as long stems and no flowers. But the next mistake works against blooming too. Heavy fertilizing pushes African violets to grow more leaves at the expense of flowers, the opposite of what most people want from this plant. A fertilizer formulated specifically for African violets, diluted and applied every few weeks during active growth, supports blooming without overwhelming the plant. African violets have shallow root systems and actually bloom better when slightly root-bound in a small, shallow pot rather than a deep, roomy one. Moving a struggling plant into an oversized pot often does more harm than good, since the excess soil stays wet longer than the roots can use. A single healthy African violet leaf, cut with a bit of stem attached, will root in water or moist soil and grow into a completely new plant. Roots typically appear within a few weeks, followed by tiny new leaves at the base. It's one of the easiest and most rewarding houseplant propagations to try. So an African violet that won't bloom isn't broken, it's usually just missing the right balance of light, water, and pot size. Get those three details consistent, and this plant can flower nearly year-round for years to come. If you want the complete guide with a troubleshooting chart for common African violet problems, it is linked in the description below.